3 games by a good team. If we're going to be a good team, we got to beat those kinds of teams. We got to play better.
Boss, you know we finally here, right? Well, it's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday. What? It's Friday again, it's Friday, Sunday. It's Friday again, it's Friday, Sunday. It's Friday again, it's Saturday, Sunday. It's Friday again. I thought the hands of time would change me, and I'll be over this.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Friday, Freaky Friday. June 27th, 2025. SSJ here. Jake Gutierrez, Deebs, and you. Yeah. Today on the show, Stan Weber joins us. Jeff Penner will explain what the hell that was yesterday. Boy. Oh. Boy. Man. Where were you when that weather hit? Yesterday around, 5:45 or so? I was at an event at Canyon Farms, and we were. You've been there before, Jake? Yeah.
Yeah, I played in some golf tournaments out there.
So that outdoor patio.
Yeah, a little pavilion area.
Pavilion.
It's a covered patio.
That got interesting.
I bet.
Because that's where we had everything set up, and it was a nice event. And I knew it was going to rain, and I knew it was going to be pretty bad because
you could see it rolling in.
There was a flood warning, right? And so we got there. The event started at 5, and so I told Sue, I said, I think the rain's going to hit at about 5:30, so let's make sure we're on time and slide in there and get there. Because I don't want to have to walk through the parking lot and get, soaking wet and look ridiculous. I look ridiculous anyway. And so we get in there, and like you said, and the view that we had, it was incredible.
Oh, it's one of the best spots to watch the sunrise set in the area. I mean, you have a great view of the horizon.
Well, it was a great view of the storm.
Right. I mean.
And so we were sitting there, and then it hit. And, brother, it was raining sideways. And then you could and then here comes the lightning, right? And I'm just going to tell you, it was almost like we were sitting and enjoying a meal and watching the Weather Channel on the big screen, right? And a couple of times lightning hit, and I mentioned that's close. That was close to where we are right now. And Susan was like, what do we do? I said, we sit right here and
take it all
finish this charcuterie board. And if this is it, then what a wonderful place for it to be it.
What a way to go down.
Right.
Delicious meats and cheeses.
Oh, wonderful.
Right.
Just wonderful. But I mean, it was raining so hard. And the wind was so strong, it was raining sideways in. And so everyone was like kind of moving in towards the inner half. And it was just crazy, man. It was wild. I know there was some more heavy rain overnight, so hopefully everybody was safe. I saw one video on social media, I think it was in Waldo, where a tree fell down. Thankfully, it didn't land on the house. It looked like it missed everything, including cars that were parked on the street. But trees were down. I know a lot of people lost electricity.
Yeah, we lost power like 3 times. Went off, came on.
You could have had someone. You call someone and have them brings power to you if you were thinking ahead. But yeah, hopefully everyone's safe. Everyone made it through that. Right. Right? So that's something that the Royals don't do. You know, you had a power outage. So did the Royals. All week long, really all season long. And the rain and the thunder and lightning didn't cause it. It's just permanent. You know, their power's out. Did Matt Quintero mention that in his post-game comments?
I don't know. We can listen.
Yeah,
to
hey,
him
we
if you want.
lost power. Our power's out. When? This season. Okay, thanks. Appreciate you. He didn't sound, and guess what? He shouldn't be. He didn't sound happy.
No.
He sounded like a guy that's tired of answering questions about losing. But guess what? Those are the questions you're going to get if you keep losing. So I think we're all tired of it. I think the people that cover the team on a daily basis, like Annie Rogers, I'm sure she's tired of it. Matt Quintero's tired of it. I bet J.J. Piccolo's tired of it. I bet fans are tired of it. And I'm not getting into it. And I beg of you not to ask me for any details. I could show you, but I'm not getting into it. But because I don't. Here's the thing. This is right up your alley, buddy.
Is
You're. They call you around here. They call Jake Mr. AI.
Oh, do
Because
they?
he's just on the cutting edge of all this. By the way, did you see someone that didn't even listen to the show, like someone nationally, put together a picture of Allen Iverson looking at X-rays because the commissioner said that they're going to use AI to try
Video?
to.
We're gonna run video through AI?
They're going to try to figure out how to stop these Achilles injuries by using AI, and I suggested and you said, "Oh, AI, I don't like that." So maybe he's talking about Allen Iverson.
I hope.
And maybe Allen Iverson's going to say too much practice, and that's what the problem is. Somebody put together, using AI, a picture of Allen Iverson looking concerned, looking at an X-ray.
About practice, not a game. We talking about practice.
Someone said that to me and said, "SSJ, you were right." I said, "For once."
This is the real AI.
That's how stupid I am. I think of something and then somebody actually does it.
He's the original AI.
Right. But in my mind, that's what they're. I'd like to know if that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
It'd be cool if they were.
I remember when I introduced AI to you guys on the podcast, on your hot mic.
And you're not talking about. I was getting ready to think. When did he introduce us to Allen Iverson?
Chat GPT when it first came out. You're like, what's this?
Like I
Let's
said,
talk
you're
about
on
it.
the cutting edge of all this.
I don't know about that. Just aware. Don't like it, but it's beneficial in some aspects.
Are we on the stream? Are we good? Can I show something to people?
Yeah.
See, look.
Zoom in on you over there.
Somebody sent me this. Look at Allen Iverson studying this X-ray.
X-ray of a leg.
I mean, this
The
made me
leg.
laugh for about 15 minutes yesterday. But
The lower half.
this is how dumb I am. This was funny to me. It is kind of, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. He looks concerned.
Oh, that's great.
He looks like he's trying to figure something out. You know,
It's a young AI.
right? Well, he's still trying.
Put a couple LBs on.
He doesn't look happy. He looks like, oh boy, this is
Concerning. He's very
could be,
concerned.
Yeah, right. That could be something. Anyway, nobody likes this.
What, the Royals are going to use some AI?
Yeah. Nobody likes this. The players don't like it. Matt Quintero's tired of answering questions. But it's it's unbelievable that right now they cannot win at home. It's June 27th, and we're getting very close to completing the month of June without a home victory for the Royals. And I mean, they can't hit. They can't score. The last time they won at home was Saturday, May 31st against Detroit, and you know what the score of that game was?
Was it 1-0?
1-0.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay? Now, see if you like this one. So, to start this home losing streak, they lost the next day, Sunday, June 1st, against Detroit. Guess what the score of that game was?
It was 1-0.
1-0.
Right, I remember. Yeah,
Right.
back one.
Yeah.
1-0 game.
Right. And so here's the stretch. June 1st against Detroit, they lost 1-0.
This is the month of June.
Yeah, at home.
At home.
And then they went on the road, and they come back June 10th, and that was the fiasco against New York and Oakland, losing 10-2, 6-3, 1-0, 6-4, 4-0, and 3-2. They leave, and they come back home and get swept by Tampa by scores of 5-1, 3-0, 4-0. This team just went out and scored one effing run in a 3-game series. One run in a 3-game series. So now what are we up to? 10 losses in a row at home?
Yeah, 3 straight sweeps.
Was that 17-20?
Yeah, right.
And in those 10 games that they've lost in a row at home, oh my God. Of the 10 games they've lost in a row at home, Jake, they've been shut out 5 times. Listen to this. Listen to that.
I really don't want to.
In their last 10 games, they've been shut out 5 times. At home. At home! That seems impossible, although we know it is because it's happening.
Yeah, we're watching it.
Think about that. Really, try to wrap your head around that. The last 10 games they played at Kauffman Stadium, they've been shut out 5 times.
Yeah, I've watched it all.
And now here come the Dodgers. So,
And they're probably going to take 2 or 3 out of the Dodgers.
Really? I don't know.
No,
They just
I
got
don't know.
they
No.
just got humiliated by Tampa.
No.
I hesitate to even bring this up because this is where I was going before I got derailed by AI studying X-rays.
We talking about practice.
Somebody, and see, this is the thing. I don't know if it's real, and that's why I hesitate because of AI. Because you could fabricate things and they look real.
Yeah, I mean, now they have these generators that you can put stuff through to tell you if it's been fabricated.
I'm just real curious.
But now you're trusting AI to tell you if it's AI.
Right. Right. That's exactly right. Like, hey.
Well, because, the problem is that, like, all these kids are using AI to write their term papers and do their homework for them. And so now they have programs to run, like, they'll run these kids' homework.
If you think your spouse is cheating on you, I'm going to hire someone to follow my spouse. Who? My spouse? What? They'll get to the bottom of it. AI will tell me if it's AI. Will it? I don't think it will. I think AI is going to lie to cover up AI. But anyway, there's a I saw someone posting on X last night. Someone that's been critical. What are you laughing for?
Is this what you sent Todd and I?
Yes.
Okay. That's okay.
I saw someone posting on X last night that has been critical of the hitting instructor Alex Zumwalt some DMs from allegedly from Alex Zumwalt. You know, like not arguing, but just, defending himself. And I'm just kidding. If that's, and I don't know, because again, that's what sucks about this. You don't know what's real and what's not.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse.
But then I did go and look and say, okay, let's see if this is a real
Legit.
account. It's a real account. Oh, and he follows me. Okay. It says, follow back. I'm like, no, I'm good. And so I just feel like if you're a coach and you're worried about what's being said on social media to the point where you're DMing people, that's probably not the best approach. And again, allegedly, whatever. I'm sure you could search and go judge for yourself. So I don't know. It just, and I hesitate because I've told you in the past, man, I don't know like how much impact that's going to have or how much impact they can have in season. Clearly, they have to do something in the off season, as far as the philosophy, the approach, whatever it is, moving forward, because it ain't working. There was a time where the pitching wasn't good enough. They overhauled their organizational philosophy when it comes to pitching, and they've reaped the rewards. It's been good. Now they need to figure out hitting, because it's so bad right now that something has to be done drastic, but I don't know what it is. Is it going to a different hitting coach? Is that going to do something? Is that going to guilt or shame the players into feeling responsible because they got a coach fired? But at the end of the day, these guys are all professional baseball players, and they have to go out and execute no matter who the coach is. They have to go out and hit. They can't even score a run. And so, honestly, the accountability falls on them as a whole, as a team. That's embarrassing. They scored 1 run in 3 games, dude. I'll repeat it. 5 shutouts during this 10-game home losing streak.
Losing is a disease as contagious as bubonic plague, attacking one but infecting all.
Play the clip I sent you. It's about a minute and a half of Matt Quatrero after the loss yesterday.
I have the full post if you want it. It's 3:44.
Okay, we can do that after the break. Okay, then play the clip from Vinny Pasquantino. When things aren't going well, Vinny's usually a pretty good red ass. He'll say some stuff. Let's hear from Vinny Pasquantino on the current state of the Royals offense. And I will give credit to Rob Collins from Fox 4 who posted this. This is Vinny Pasquantino talking about the Royals offense and the approach at the plate.
It's bad. It's not good enough. And we're continuing to have conversations about why. What can we do to fix it? We haven't yet. That's in the past. We've got a lot of belief in this group, in this locker room. It's currently not good enough, but we can't control what has happened so far. We can only control what we do tomorrow. And the plan is to come out and rake. Now, that might sound ridiculous, me saying that, considering what we've done recently, but that's how I believe in this team, that every day we show up, we're going to go out there and rake. So that's the plan tomorrow. We're going to figure out how to attack Dustin May and go from there. It feels pretty strong after we have some of our meetings. You develop a game plan. You see what the numbers spit out, what the guy does early, what the guy does late, what he does with less than 2 strikes, what he does with 2 strikes. And I'm sure there's people listening to it right now being like, maybe we just shouldn't have meetings. Maybe simplify as much as possible. And yes, we want to be as simple as possible, but at the end of the day, if it was the reverse and we weren't prepared, that would be worse than being prepared and not being good enough. So we just got to be better. At some point, the results do matter. It's a process-based game, results-based business. So, and the results haven't been good enough. So we just got to figure out. We got to do something. That's it. We got to do something.
And so here's basically the Royals in a nutshell right now. So I sit down to watch the game. Game starts. Lorenzen strikes out the side. I think, okay, here we go. Let's go. Royals come up in the bottom of the first. India gets into one, hits a double. And then, were you watching it when he hit the double? Gets up, pumps his fist.
Yeah, he's pumped up.
Looks at the dugout. Let's go. Let's go. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Get him started.
That's okay. There's the spark. And what have we talked about? Man, India's got to be better. He's got to get on base. He came over here to be the leadoff hitter. He's got a career OPS of about 750. It's about 100 points lower than that. Got to get that on-base percentage around 350, 360. Provide a spark. Get on base. Give Bobby something to drive in. And he does it.
And India slams it into deep left field, and that is off the track and up against the wall. And the Royals begin the bottom of the first with a runner at second base. Yeah, that's exactly what you do.
And I feel like Rex is as frustrated as anyone. I feel like he's about ready to jump out of the broadcast booth. Because Wright goes, now get him over. You got to get him over to third. Bobby comes up. What happens? Pops out to center. And you can just hear Rex like, oh. Like everybody else. And then, okay, all right, come on, Vinny. Come on, runner at second. Run producer, strikes out. Michael. Oh, Michael's been good. Garcia will come through, flies out. And as quickly as everybody was excited after Lorenzen struck out the side and India hits the double, and India's pumping his fist, looking at the dugout, come on, let's go. Then immediately the Royals offense like, oh, no. They didn't even get him over to third. They didn't even threaten. As soon as he hit that double, Jake, was there a moment, oh, they're gonna score? Nope. It was like, that's it. That's all you're getting.
Oh, no. And as soon as they scored the first run, I was like, oh.
But I mean, after that first inning, you were like,
wind out of the sails.
oh, my God.
Yeah.
You were sailing? You sailor, you? Is that what you're doing?
Coxswain.
I don't know if you needed to say that, but okay. On that note, we will break. Stan Weber's going to come in here. He'll fix the offense. Maybe. I don't know. I'll ask him. 1 run in a 3-game series. Well, all right then. Come on, Dodgers. Bring your ass. Back into this on Sports Radio 810 WHP. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Friday, June 27th, 2025. Let's all say hello to Stan Weber, who joins us in the studio. Stan, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
You personally, as an individual, scored one run less than the Royals in this 3-game series against the Rays. How do you feel about that?
It's unbelievable. 10 home games in a row.
Jake liked that.
10 losses in June. The Royals combined, you said, have been shut out 5 of those 10 games at home. But do you realize
that sounds made up?
They have scored a total of 12 runs in 10 games. So I think today, this Friday, I'm going to have to call them Sporting Royals.
Wow. Ooh.
Because if Nate were here, I'd be saying the lack of scoring in soccer is one of the things that
Nate's
keeps me from being
in spirit.
But do you realize that Sporting Kansas City has only played 9 home games this year, and they've had 15 goals?
That sounds good.
So even if they get shut out
for the Royals,
they would be 15-12 soccer to baseball.
Jake, do you like the stat that in this 3-game series against Tampa, the Royals outscored Stan 1-0?
Yeah. I mean, Stan held his own.
Right. I mean, you did.
Admirable.
You pushed back.
What's crazy for me is we can talk about the hitting all day.
Yeah.
We can talk about the hitting all day. And
please don't.
No, but it's legitimate. It's
right.
The headline, right? Don't bury the headline. But I've got to say, as a Royals fan or a sports analyst or whatever you want to say, watching the Royals, what I think is more notable and what I think is more frustrating to me this year has been fielding and base running.
Yeah. Base running's really been an issue.
Because when the Royals were sitting there not scoring yesterday midway through the game, I make a case, I don't think the other team should have had any runs either. So you should have played 2 more innings, and let's go, instead of it being 2-0 or 3-0 Rays, it shouldn't have been. I mean, the plays that they're making, the base running errors that they made this year.
Like on Sunday against the Padres when they were going for the series win, when Salvi didn't score early in the game, and then when Drew Waters didn't score because it was a bizarre hesitation and unique route rounding third base and attempting to score on that Fermin hit, and he got thrown out.
Yes, but just so many different things.
Right.
Now, situational hitting, obviously that pulls in there. Clutch hitting, runners in scoring position is outrageous.
They're not doing
But
the
again,
little
yesterday
things.
they scored how many? 0?
Right.
They had a runner on second right away, no outs.
Oh, we talked about
How
that.
do you
That
not
was-
score?
That was such a gut punch, and and we're watching it. I'm watching the game. Lorenzen strikes out the side. I said, "All right, let's go." And then India, who has been one of the issues because he hasn't been good enough as a leadoff hitter, hits the double. He gets up, pumps his fist, and yelling at the deck, "Let's go, let's go!" Like, okay, there we go. Rex is all fired up. Bobby's up. All right, come on. At the very least, move him over.
Exactly.
Get him over. Pop up to short center. Strike out. Fly out. Don't score. And it just felt like Jake
And he
said,
never got to third
right,
in the first 2 batters.
Wind out of the sails. Right there. Okay, so you mentioned you were asking me about 10-game losing streaks at home for the Royals. This comes from the desk of Curtis Siebold. He posted this yesterday. Royals have lost 10 straight home games now for the 5th time in their history. And so these are the previous 10-game losing streaks. They lost 10 in a row back in 2013. Wow. And that was early, 413 to 423 at home. Then they lost 10 in a row back in 2000. Oh, the 2013 was the 11 in a row. So 2013.
So 10 is one
right
from the all-time worst?
Yeah, one more. And so they lost the worst streak they've had, 11 in a row, back in 2013. And it was 5-6 until 6-4. So it lasted over a month, from May until June. 11 in a row back in 2013. And that was a pretty good team. They turned things around. They got, they gave us reason to hope going into 2014. That was a good team. 11 in a row. And it went from May to June in 2013. They lost 10 in a row in 2023. And that spanned from April until May. They lost 10 in a row in 2018. And that was in April. They lost 10 in a row in 2012. And that was also in April. And so 3 of those streaks were in April, and one of them basically was in May. And so the longest home losing streak took place in May of 2013, 11 games in a row, and they're looking to tie that tonight. Well, they're not looking to tie it, but they're looking to avoid it. But I don't know. If you were a betting man, where would you lean, the Dodgers or the Royals tonight?
I think the Royals are going to sweep them. That'll just make baseball turn upside down.
Oh, I'd love it. Jake said they're going to win 2 out of 3. Just when we're ready to
Just
give
when
up.
you're ready. They swept Texas when you didn't think it was going to happen.
But here's the thing. They got to score.
Yes.
They got to score.
But those streaks all have occurred after 2010.
Yeah.
So I just think about all those years of Royals baseball. Anything starting with 19s in front of it, and then rolling in. That's amazing.
And 3 of them were in April. Like, just they don't even let you get excited. Like, we're going to end the season right now.
When the kids get out of school, the attendance is going to go up, and the Royals are going to get hot, and they're out of it already.
What would you do? Would you just keep chugging? What would you do?
Well, my opinion changed with your good audio that you had this morning, because I think listening to Vinny is a little bit like listening to Spags talk about the Chiefs. There's way more information in there, I think.
He don't hold nothing back.
Then he's telling you not only truths, but there's a lot of other things that you can add to it. In my opinion, when I heard him talking about all the things that they're analyzing and are supposed to have knowledge each day about each pitcher, and how many pitchers come through each game in an average Major League Baseball game? 3?
Sure.
Okay, so you've got to have your knowledge base up. Like he said, not trying is unacceptable. It's kind of what he said. If we weren't trying, it's unacceptable. But we're trying. But as a baseball hitter, isn't it the hardest thing in sports? Is it hitting a golf ball or is it hitting a baseball? Most people say hitting a baseball is the hardest thing in sports. You're a superstar Hall of Famer if you get a hit 3 out of 10 at bats. Okay? You fail all the time and got to live with it, and it's so hard. And your body's in danger when that ball's coming at 100 or 95 miles an hour, coming at your head, and it's a curveball for a strike. The whole thing. How can they be thinking about that much stuff? I say simplify. Put the AI away and just go up and rake. You can't do worse than this. Does that make sense?
Yes. I
think simpler. I think the greatest coaches in the world are the ones who have a team that executes excellently, but each player, when you ask them what they have to do, they think it's the simplest thing in the world. Like, if I'm the left guard in football, my only rule is do not let anybody ahead of me or to my left get past me on the right. That's as simple as it gets. If you don't let anybody cross your face, you've done your job. And let Andy Reid determine how all 11 guys need to do their things, but simplify it. But okay, I'm not a good golfer, but I hear you shouldn't have a lot of thoughts in your golf swing. People tell me that all the time. You got to simplify it. At most, think of one thing. But at some point, you got to believe and be natural and rip at the ball, right?
Hey,
muscle memory.
That's our approach to doing this show. Between Jake and I, we pretty much have 0 thoughts for 4 hours.
But you play with confidence and you're natural, right?
Thank you.
If you tried to script out every word, if you wrote every word, and you were here reading it for 4 hours, would you perform at as good of a level?
No.
I'm not saying you're doing great or anything. I'm not saying where you are on the scale. I'm just saying you would do worse if they said, here, make sure in this next segment you get these 7 points in. Just, it's really important. We've studied this. No doubt about it. The listeners want to hear these 7 points, get them all in, and then be natural and produce what you want.
You bring up
That's
a great
disaster.
point. When I first started and I used to do interviews, I would write down my questions before the interview.
Right.
And I got to get all these questions in. And then I would be so focused on that, I would not listen to what the person I was saying interview very closely, because some of the best questions you have in an interview, in my opinion, are follow-ups to what somebody says. And many times, if it's a good interview, they'll say something you're not expecting. You didn't know what they're going to say.
They'll take you where you need to go.
I got to go there. I got to go there. And you're so right. When it's scripted, you don't allow it to happen organically.
Exactly. This is a little inside baseball, because I'm able to come in and know you guys who are on Sports Radio 810. I'm a visitor. I'm here once in a while. So it's like if you watch a kid, you have a niece or nephew who lives in a different city. You see them when they're 6 months old, then you see them when they're 1 year, and you see them once in a while, and you realize, wow, they're talking better. Wow, they're running. Wow, they've grown, right? You see it. The parents don't see anything, because it's just a day-to-day movement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you guys are in here every day producing all this great product on Sports Radio 810, WHB, 25 years. But I get to come in, know the people, get great access, even get on the air. But I come in and I'm like the aunt or uncle going, here's the growth. What made Sports Radio 810 so unbelievable and so successful right from the beginning, and it continues to get today,
Lebo.
Great job, Chad Boger and the ligament, Todd Lebo. But
Right.
No, they don't tell us what to say on here at all. They let each of us come in here and do the best we can with the way that we think it is the best to produce it. I used to do some radio around town and be a guest, and they would say, we're going to be talking for the next 7 minutes. And that's it, because we had weather and traffic
Right.
on the nines or something, right? 810 killed all the other sports radio in this town so easily, because if you had a good discussion going, you might take it 12 minutes or 17 minutes. We got all the commercials in, but people wanted to listen. If you're rolling along in your conversation, right, it is going well, you don't tell your guest, oh, bye-bye, that was a nice 7 minutes, except for my introduction and then my exit, which took another 20 seconds from you.
My brief stint in FM radio, I had a program director that scripted every single thing and wanted nothing to be spontaneous, and it murdered my soul. And after the show, he'd want to meet and go over everything. And I'd see Jake in the hall sometimes, and I would tell him, choke me out like we're in the UFC, and so I can't go to this meeting. Will you please? So that's just another window behind,
No, it doesn't work.
Jake's in there. He loves it, don't you? Thanks, Jake.
I mean, Jake, you mentor a lot of people, right, Jake? Is that correct?
He does.
Sure.
As we're speaking, he's mentoring Deebs.
Okay.
In there.
Sure.
No, isn't this true? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not misstating this?
No, you are.
Okay.
You're correct.
So you mentor
You're
some
correct.
people, and I get a chance, as old as I am, to have chances to talk to lots of different people and younger people and others who are asking for any advice. And almost always, the simplest thing is believe in it yourself and do it your way. Fire your ability. Believe in what God gave you, and don't be scared to be embarrassed. If it doesn't turn out great, you'll still be the best you can be. If you're only a 4 on a 1 to 10, you would have been a 2. And if you play with confidence, your 4 might turn into a 5. And then you learn a little bit, and then you turn into a 6. And suddenly, you maximize your capability. But if you try to go down a path of where other people are telling you to script in this stuff and overthink, and oh, by the way, I played sports too. And if I were up at bat, or if I were a quarterback, I got a good example, a real-life example. Roger Staubach, my favorite player all time, Dallas Cowboy Hall of Famer, right? Heisman Trophy winner at Navy, champion. He had one of the greatest coaches ever in Tom Landry. So I love Tom Landry and what he stands for. But they were scrimmaging the San Francisco 49ers. And John Brody was a famous quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. And he heard Tom Landry talking to Roger Staubach, and the two quarterbacks stood over to the side when they were doing a different drill, and he said, what was he saying to you? And he's going, well, if the left tackle jets out and the strong safety moves to the left, then we want to change our read over here to the left side. And John Brody's like, you got to be effing kidding me. Like, what? Just read what you should read and rip the ball. And Roger Staubach had to overcome all that technical knowledge in his head and turn it into free-flowing. And guess what Roger Staubach did? Drove Tom Landry crazy. He never wanted him to run. Tom Landry doesn't want his quarterback to run. He wanted him to pass. If I want to run, I'll hand the ball off, Tom Landry would say. But guess what Roger did? Became Roger the Dodger, scrambled his way to be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. He broke out and went against what Tom Landry wanted him to do because his natural ability. And at some point, Tom Landry bit his lip and let Roger do it. He did the same thing for Tony Dorsett. I won't go into the same story, but Tony Dorsett was not very good early, and he was a superstar the rest of his career when Tom said, I'm going to let you use your natural ability. So that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the Royals. Sorry to go all these other places.
What are
but
some
when
of
I
the
go
best
to the
moments
bat
from Patrick Mahomes when he gets outside the pocket, and he creates?
Yeah,
right?
with confidence, not stupidity.
Right, exactly right.
So I want Vinny to go up and create a bat hitting a ball into his own natural ability. I don't want him to think about, 2 strikes and this right-hander. Oh, let me think. What about the other meeting? Oh, yeah, he said likely curveball inside. Yeah, that's what I should be thinking. No, you should be getting your 20/20 vision on that ball and watching it spin and then rip. Right?
He touched on it. He said, we're having meetings.
I'm not trying to blast the Royals,
but he said
right now they're getting 0 hits.
Maybe we're having too many meetings. He questioned it, right? Paralysis by analysis, and maybe too many meetings.
So what I would do is hit the desperation button and saying, guys, I'd walk in if I were the manager, and I'd say, guys, we believe in all the technical information we have. We believe in our style of doing things. But right now, we got to make a change. And rather than me trading 2 of you or sending 2 of you down to the minors and doing that, I'm going to do something radical. You know what we're going to do today? We're going to let you go up without a meeting. And for the next week, we're going to let you hit naturally. Be smart. Let it rip. Believe in yourself. Because you need to get Bobby Witt going. You need to get Salvador Perez going. And how about Jack Caglione? Welcome to the big leagues. What do we say? Look at the pitchers. How about if welcome to the big leagues is a whole new calculus levels of stuff he's supposed to memorize when he's up at the plate? That scared me. I thought his quote was unbelievable. I made too much of it.
No.
I apologize. You asked me what I would do, but it's been so bad. 12 runs in 10 games, no wins in June at home. What do you have to lose to let the guys play a little more natural?
They're all losing plenty of games, and
I would say we're not going to do this forever, guys. We're not going to do this forever. We're going to get back to what we do, but let's just relax. Let's have everybody relax and just concentrate on all the fundamentals that you've studied over the offseason, that you believe in, that made you a major leaguer. What did you do in high school? What did you do in the minor leagues? Go back to those mentalities. What was your mentality when you walked at the bat and you hit 450 in AA or in high school? What was your mindset? That's the mindset I want you when you get in the plate. We have nothing to lose because no one's playing fundamental baseball. When you have a runner on second, no outs, and you're a team that struggles to score, you've got to get him home.
It literally can't
You hit
get
to the
worse.
right side.
Yeah.
Bunt. Get him to third. How many times do the Royals have first and third, 1 out, and don't score? Runner on second, no outs, and don't score. And again, what's crazy is, what's bothering me more than anything is the base running and a little bit of the fielding.
And I think that's kind of a domino effect because they put so much pressure on themselves. And we were talking with Andy Rogers a little bit earlier this week, and it's like they take chances maybe they normally wouldn't because they're so desperate to score runs. Pitchers think they have to be so perfect and so fine. I mean, Jake says they had to do what they did in the movie Sign, just say, swing away, Merrill.
That's right.
And start hitting the glasses of water. And killing aliens.
That's right.
And that's, right? And view the aliens as the opposing pitchers.
Merrill could hit it.
Right. That's exactly right. And also, you said earlier that, like, hitting a golf ball or hitting a baseball could be the hardest thing in sports. I think right now, watching the Royals offense is the hardest thing in sports.
And covering it every night.
Right.
We talk about how much a manager has to go through, unlike a football coach. Gets interviewed twice at least per game. There's a before and after interview session, and you feel about all the people that have to go ask the questions. I feel sorry for them.
Oh,
You wish it were like
shorter.
It were like Andy Reid. Like, we'll talk to you 3 times a week. That's enough.
Andy Rodgers and Jalen Thompson both did a good job yesterday asking questions. We're going to play that. It's funny you bring that up. We're going to play that, and you can hear the frustration.
How can they even come up with new questions twice in one day?
It's like like Jake said yesterday, it's Groundhog Day. Every day it's the same thing. And you have to invent ways to ask about why won't you score. We'll take a break. We'll listen to Matt Quattro's comments after the loss yesterday. Coming up next, right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.